Perfect. So, hello everyone, Namaste from India, and welcome back to LiveWabiSabi podcast. I am your host Shilpi Gupta Shah, a women empowerment advocate, a digital community builder, and founder of LiveWabiSabi Life, a digital media storytelling platform dedicated to authentic human stories. But before any of those titles, I am mother of two sons. I am someone who has lived health challenges, career switches, and reinvented my life in my late 30s. And yes, what I have learned from my journey is a very simple aspects that our lives are not defined by how perfectly we live, but how courageously we rise from the challenges life throws at us. So this aspect of life is brought to you guys by the help of this podcast. And here we serve you dose of self-love shots, empowering messages through conversations with inspiring women leaders, professionals, homemakers across globe who talk about their journeys to becoming the women they are today. And let me tell you that today we have a very special guest. Her name is Princess Abumbi Prudence, co-founder and director of Youths and the Future. Welcome, a very warm welcome to you, Live Wabi Sabi podcast, Abumbi. How are you feeling in this session today?
Thank you so much, Ibi. I'm feeling just so excited to be connected with you today to share my own perspectives in regards of women empowerment and my leadership as a whole. Thank you.
Very great, great. And from which part of world have you joined, Abumbi? Will you like to inform our viewers?
I'm joining from Cameroon, Africa, precisely from the Northwest region. I'm from the Bafut Royal Kingdom. I'm a princess from the Bafut Royal Kingdom, found in Bamenda, Cameroon.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for telling from which part of world you are joining. And now please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, dear viewers, good morning to all wherever you're watching me. I am Princess Abumbi Prudence from the Northwest region of Cameroon. I am a princess from one of the most powerful indigenous royals families in the Northwest region. And I am the co-founder and director of a youth empowerment organization known as Youth and the Future. Youth and the Future is a non-governmental organization that empower youths and revive our communities. And through this, I think this is a better platform where I can share my ideas and thoughts about leadership and on how my journey so far has been. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. So, Abumbi, Princess Abumbi, as I have already visited your LinkedIn profile, and you describe yourself as a spirit of renewal and regeneration from heart of Africa. So, what does that identity mean to you on a personal level, Abumbi?
That identity means reviving lost hope, reviving lost communities, reviving lost lives. That means bringing back to life where things are dead. A
Okay.
good example is sometimes the challenges that we face in our day-to-day lives, people give up, people lost hopes, and sometimes their spirits needs to be renewed. Their spirit needs to be revived. So when I talk about reviving, it means renewing, giving new inspiration, boosting up people to be hopeful, restoring what is lost. Yeah, that means guiding them, leading them to track, collaborating, encouraging, empowering, standing up towards a positive idea. That's what I mean by reviving a renewal spirit, because when our spirits are not renewed, we are drained. And when we are drained, our ideas, our hope, and everything is down. You know, actually, we cannot survive when our energies are drained down. We feel so exhausted. But when our energies are boosted up and revived, we feel encouraged, we feel more energized, our thoughts are more positive, we can think so many positive things. So that's what I'm trying to refer to.
Wow, wow. And Princess Amumbi, like growing up in an indigenous royal family, like you always, since you introduce yourself as a royal, royal from royal generation of, your family. So, how did your cultural roots, shape the women you are becoming today?
Wow. Growing up from the royal family, I can say it's one of the most powerful things that had ever happened in my life. Because looking at every royal family, it's a family of leadership. And looking at the leadership which is manifesting through me today to the world, my royal family or my royal background has shaped it a lot because I started involving myself into leadership in the early ages as a young princess. My father, King Abumbi II, gave me opportunities to lead, to collaborate, to participate in ideas and decision makings. Because in the Bafut royal kingdom, it's not all about the king alone ruling, but the entire royal family are leaders because the kingdom is vast and very thickly populated. So in that area, the king often prepares our mind, making us to understand he's not the only leader. We together we lead these people. So with that mindset, he never left us behind. He often taught us, make sure we are involved in day-to-day leadership and seeing how we relate with the community as a whole and the people that we govern. So through my relations with the communities and the people, I learned a lot because when I share with them, I learned a lot. You know, the process of learning is through sharing. When you share, you learn. And when you learn, you share. So by sharing and learning a lot, it shaped me up a lot where my mind became prepared that things I only thought ended at the level of ideas, they began manifesting. Because sometimes our imaginations are quite different from reality. What I imagined each time I approach a situation in the community and it must manifest in another way, it is a lesson that is being learned. So from there, it shaped my leadership in the areas of communication, problem solving, collaboration, partnership, caring, loving, and learning how to express myself without fear, with so much self-confidence, and learning how to build confidence also to other community members. So it has really shaped me a lot because if I'm able to audibly speak with you today, not being shy is because I was trained in the way that I talk to the community, I address the community, I face the community, I stand one-on-one to do a lot of things with them. So growing up from the royal background, it has shaped my leadership a lot, and I have learned a lot from my father, King Abumbi II. He became king at the age of 15. And he has been a leader for over 40 something years. So that early leadership in him has empowered me, and I've seen a lot of resilience from him. He's a great leader. He's a wonderful leader. So from there, I have really learned a lot that a leader, it's not because of titles, but a leader is he who stands by his people, listen to his people, show the concern, see how he can make his people happy. So that princess is just a title. But what makes me a leader are the services that I render to the people. It's what I do to the people. It's the relationship between the community and I myself as a princess. It's what happened. It's the peace that I maintained as a princess that I can fully boast that I am a princess. So the things that I do, it's what made me a leader and not that title. I often say a princess is just a noun. Anyone can bear that name. But what I do, it's what qualifies me as who I am. Thank you.
Well said, well said. And I think that being from a royal family, I guess leadership runs in blood, right? You are raised. I mean, with leaders, and leadership runs in your blood, which I I have learned from this conversation. So now I want to learn something about your work. Princess Abumbi, that you have worked with over 18,000 youths, women, and children. I mean, what has this journey taught you about resilience, which no degree ever could?
Okay, this journey has taught me that resilience is a word, but there are things which you do to become resilient. Resilience is a practice. Resilience is effort. Resilience is determination. Resilience is made up of so many things to come out with that word resilience. So in this process of empowering my youth organization known as Youth and the Future, I encounter different characters, different challenges, different people, different situations. And I learned how to practice resilience in different situational approaches. I do not approach every situation the same way because different situations comes with different approaches. A good example is a situation where I will approach my staffs is quite different with the approach that I will use in the general public. So in all these aspects, I need to make sure resilience comes in. There is resilience when I exercise in the areas of staffs. There is resilience where I exercise in the areas of conflict. There is resilience where I exercise in the areas of problem solving. Because looking at all this is made up of quite different areas of resilience. So it has really taught me that leadership is about dynamism, flexibility, being flexible, being adaptable, being willing to learn. In this journey, I saw that resilience is another word of learning never ends. Because in what we face every day, the new resilience that we embrace is still a lesson. It's a lesson that we continue to learn. You can't say you are resilient enough. There are situations that you still need to approach with resilience. Every day we apply resilience to situations, to different situations. It's like today I may approach resilience. Today doesn't mean I will never apply it again. Tomorrow another situation may show up. So resilience is a continuous process.
Absolutely.
It's a continuous process. Yeah. So with this continual process, it has really helped me a lot. It has empowered me a lot, and it has given me a lot of inspiration. It has helped me to shape myself as a female leader, because the African community is one of the communities that face female leadership and gender inequality. So sometimes where the leadership of women is being down looked at. So resilience also comes here for me to be courageous, for me to be self-confident, for me to be strong, for me to believe in what I'm doing, for me to care less about the words, the slants that people give, but I learned that my results should speak more for me. Because when people doubt my leadership as a female leader, my results prove them that she's capable. So I think resilience has really helped me a lot, where I do not limit resilience, but I expand resilience and make sure it goes in every area that is needed. As I rightly said, every situation comes with a new resilient spirit. Today, I may approach with the resilient spirit of today, and tomorrow a bigger challenge may come up. I will also need another level of resilience to approach, based on the situations or the challenges that I face. So these have shaped me, and that is how resilience has helped me going, and flexibility in my day-to-day leadership in my youth empowerment organization.
Okay. So working in conflict-affected regions, when it comes to working in conflict, these kind of conflict-affected regions, I mean, it also comes with an emotional weight, Abumbi, right? So how do you hold a space for others while also protecting your own energy?
Okay, holding a space, first of all, it's about risk bearing. Life as a whole is about risk bearing. When we talk of conflict, it's a risky area, but life as a whole, everything is risk-bearing. And sometimes we need to take decisions. We take decisions to bear risk. It's either you take that decision to bear the risk or you don't. So before getting myself into leadership as a whole, I knew it's about risk. So it's either I'm ready to take the risk depending on what I choose to. Because there are certain level of risk which I will not take, and there are certain level of risk which I will take. So when it comes to this vision of being able to manage spaces, I becomes very, very spiritually sensitive. When I talk of being spiritual sensitive, leadership is not about physicality. We lead spiritually and physically, because what manifests physically is what we nurture spiritually. So there are moments that I bring together my spiritual union to perceive what is in the physical before I take an action. A good example, if I'm to set up a program tomorrow, Today, I need to start monitoring the atmosphere. I make sure I do my research 1 week or 5 days ahead of times to know whether within these 5 days, how would the environment look like? Would it be safe for everyone, or would there be any unforeseen circumstances? At times, you put aside strategies, mitigation strategies of in case where there is disruption or interruption, what do I do to achieve what has been set aside? So with this, at times, planning properly, organizing yourself properly, being able to forecast and to perceive spiritually, I'm able to host these spaces. And sometimes hosting these spaces also on online platforms also has really helped me, because in areas where people cannot have a physical gathering, the online spaces also facilitate me to be able to host some of these spaces. But I encourage physical hosting at the level of the indigenous communities. Why do I say so? Technology is not very vast here at home. Not everyone is able to manipulate a phone, to use a computer, to be able to join an online platform. So more of these community people, they are vast with hosting physical spaces. So most often I try practicing both online hosting and physical spaces so that more persons can benefit from. At the level of
Yeah,
my community, yeah, at the level of
yeah,
my
and
community,
you don't leave any stone unturned. I mean, you are
yeah.
trying to, yeah, you are trying to, like present online as well as offline, which is the best approach, I guess, because when you are offline, then you are able to connect more with people, and when you are
Yeah.
online, then of course you could go global. There are no limits for online. So your work, Princess Abumbi, it beautifully blends culture, agriculture, talent, and education. So what does true empowerment means to you? I mean, beyond financial independence, because our idea of, empowerment, women empowerment, basically is financial independence. So, what does true empowerment means to you?
Empowerment, first of all, is not only all about resources. Because
Okay.
if it was at the level of resources, I should have given up when it comes to my women empowerment leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Because here we have challenges, we have limitations, we have barriers, we have obstacles, but there is something about that purpose of women empowerment which I am born with. As I am born a female leader from a royal family, it's something that I'm born with. So, looking at women empowerment, I don't want to limit myself at the level of finances, because when we talk of managing, also, we can manage people. We can empower people. We don't empower money, we empower people. So, my mind is not so much focused at the level of finances or empowering myself financially. Yes, resources matters. But what we have, first of all, is what we learn how to empower ourselves. And of course, we have the people first. So we empower the people first with the mindset of self empowerment. Through self empowerment, you can go out for resources, you can fetch resources, you can be job creators and not job seekers. You can create opportunities for yourself to fetch this money, not money coming to you. So I see self empowerment being one of the most important resources. Empower yourself first, because it is humans that get resources, it is humans that fetch money. Money do not fetch humans. In every country or organization where people produce money, machines are being controlled by humans. The company that produce money is being controlled by humans. If those humans are not empowered, they will not be able to produce money. And I often say we should never become slave for money.
So,
When our mindset,
one takeaway from this conversation is empower yourself first in order to
yeah,
empower
empower,
others. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow, great.
empower you.
And if you have to shift one narrative about, African youth globally, so what would that be, Princess Abumbi?
I would say African youths globally, they are talented, but they lack the spaces to showcase themselves. They
Okay.
are wonderful, they are incredible, but they lack the spaces to show what they got. That is what part of my vision is. Envisioning a world where Africa has a voice, the youth have the ways to share their ideas and a market to sell their talents. Because growing up as an African, that is one thing I discovered. We got wonderful talent, but we don't have the right platforms to showcase, to exhibit what we have. And you know, talent is something that when you don't exercise it, it dies gradually. Talent is a gift that needs to be put into practice. So at times, when we see African youth, they got more than what people think. If they are given the opportunities to showcase themselves and show out what they have, oh my God, the world will be incredibly surprised about what they have. Yes, African youth are talented, they are wonderful, they got a lot, but it is hidden. It is hidden in them. Because lack of the spaces, lack of areas where their voices can be heard. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Makes so much of sense. The more you get platform to showcase your talent, the more you are empowered, and of course, when you are empowered yourself, then you will be able to empower others. Wow, wonderful. So at this podcast, at Live Wabi Sabi podcast, we
Yeah.
generally talk about self-love shots, Princess Abumbi. So what does self-love look like in your everyday life? Not the ideal version, but your daily dose of self-love shots. What do you practice for self-love every day?
Self-love community, first of all, it's a day-to-day practice for me because love is the greatest thing that you can offer. Love cannot be bought with money. Love is something natural. It's a natural instinct. And if you love yourself, you learn how to love others because it's a world of humans. You're human. If you see yourself as human, you will learn how to reciprocate love. If you see yourself as human, you will learn that what you don't want, others don't want. What you feel as pain, others also will feel as pain. And with that mindset, how you want to be loved, you always understand that others also want to be loved. So with that, you become mindful with a lot of approaches, the way you interact with people, the way you do a lot of things around people, being mindful of not to hurt them. Because it's not the world of animals. Even animals deserve love, they deserve respect. What about humans? So we are being careful of the words we use, we are being careful of the characters that we portray, we are being careful of so many things. So my greatest way of showing love is about care. I care, I show up when in need, I share the little I have, because good givers is not when they have abundance. If you have the willingness to share the little, then when you have abundance, you will give. Someone who doesn't share because he say he has a little is not love. Love is when you sacrifice painfully. If you cannot sacrifice in a painful way, that you feel that you're letting off something to achieve something, then it's not love. Love goes with sacrifice. It goes with deep sacrifice within you. It's like, okay, sometimes I know I am in need of something, but I would decide to let it go for my community or someone who is in need. Yeah, I know I need it so badly. That is how I can feel that, yes, I really love you when I can let off go what I also love to. A good example is this shirt I'm putting on. It may be my favorite. But if I have that willful mind of gifting it to somebody what I love preciously, then I must say love is leading, because I am learning how to love that person like the way I love myself, just the way I love that shirt. If I can set it out, that means I value that person the way I value myself. So through listening also to them, I show love to them, because sometimes giving them that opportunity to be outspoken, they feel recognize that they are princess, can create time and listen them talk. It's also another way of self-motivation. Sometimes going around the community, making friends and being interactive, it makes them feel happy, because you don't only carry yourself that you're a princess and you sit at home. No, you go out, you make friends, you greet, you check, and you collaborate. So you don't only package yourself, it's like, I'm a princess, I'm not. Remember, you're a princess because of those people. You don't princess yourself, the people princess you. The people add value to who you are. So if you cannot also add their own value, then you're alone. Who do you lead? You are leading the people and not yourself. So you prioritize your people just the way you prioritize yourself. With that, I think that is how I show my love to my people in my day-to-day life as a princess.
Wow, wow. So how can, who is your biggest cheerleader, Princess Abumbi? Like your biggest support system? Anyone from family or friends? Would you like to name some?
My father, King Abumbi the second, it's my role model, my inspirator, my energy, my backbone, my support system. He's a blessing from God. He's a father that I often said, if I'm given the opportunity again to be rebirthed 100 of times, I would choose him over and over because he's more than a leader. He's a leader and a father. When it comes to leadership, he's a leader. When it comes to parental role, he's a parent. Whatever situational approach it is, he is so much adaptable and flexible. He is so much loved here in Cameroon and in Africa. A lot of people speak so highly about him. Even if you can research on Google, King Abumbi II of Bafoot, you will see a lot. He's a wonderful leader. I'm not just celebrating him because he's my father, but I'm celebrating him because I've seen his results. He's capable of bringing peace. He's capable of aligning things together. He's capable of making the people feel that they have a king and being proud of who he is. He doesn't persecute. I don't say he's perfect, yeah? We all make mistakes, but he's conscious. He has the capacity of always saying, I'm sorry if he finds himself on the wrong track. Not like egos. Some people would say, no, I'm the king. I can't happen. No. When there is a need for him to say, I'm sorry, he says, I'm sorry. And as a king also, he seeks advice. He doesn't just dictate. He's not into dictatorial leadership. He's a democratic leader. So with all this, I can say he's my model. He's my model. And of course, my mom, Queen Abumbi Constance, who is a woman. You know, behind every successful man, there must be a woman. So while I'm praising the king, I'm also praising my mom, Queen Abumbi Constance, for being that support system behind my father, whom has greatly inspired me. Both of them have been my role models, my parents.
Okay, we get it, Princess Abumbi. Now tell us, how can we connect with you? How can people connect with you? I mean, do you have any free resource or free buy, or any kind of offering which you could share with the community?
Yeah, we can connect with me through LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. I think at the end of this, I shared my media handles already with you. I have about 6 media handles where you can connect with me, follow me up, and also follow my organizational pages. You will get to see more about my leadership, because I share a lot on daily basis on Youth and the Future platforms, because now the world is in crisis and we need to empower more youth. Their minds need to be ready. We need to prepare their minds, because if they are not prepared and the worst is coming, the situation will be so devastating. So looking around the world, what is happening today, I see a need to empower more youths in more diverse areas than ever before. Not only being focused financially, but through resilience and sustainability. I often tell my youth that I will not give you fish, I will teach you how to fish, because it's sustainability. If I go and bring everything and give you, you will never practice. I prefer you go with me, you learn how to do it. It will be sustainable for you, so that when I'm not, you can do it by yourself. So one of the focus that I'm also standing on is sustainability. I'm building a sustainable future. I'm shaping a sustainable future that even after my living, my legacy and other things can still continue to stand on that foundation. So wow. With following my pages and following myself, resilience that the world needs, because part of the vision is reconnecting the modern world with the indigenous world, where both can blend indigenous knowledge together, and it will be world of today, if we are not careful, people are gradually abandoning the indigenous ways, which are the original roots. AI, artificial intelligence, did not come to make us abandon our roots, but it came for us to be adapted. It's not abandonment, getting adapted and blending them together, because people are gradually abandoning their traditions because of AI. No. Take what is happening.
I think we have lost Princess Abumbi. So
I've
as we
always
come to end,
yeah.
as okay. So as we come to end of this conversation, Princess Abumbi, what stand out most is not just what you have built, but how you have chosen to build it. So your journey reminds us that growth can be rooted in disruption and purpose can rise from places of pain, and that identity is not something we find once, but something we return to again and again. And to everyone
Yeah.
who watched us live or will be watching it later, I wish to let you know that through LiveWabiSabi Live, I work to create spaces for empowering women by sharing lived experiences of women leaders, professionals through features, magazine reflections, podcasts, and conversations. Because every woman carries a story that has the power to inspire someone else. So thank you so much, Princess Abumbi, for your time. And to all the other people, if you want to share your journey and wish to support another woman's journey, then comment below and we would love to connect with you and feature you, because our mission is Live Wabi Sabi. Together we rise and shine. Thank you so much, Princess Abumbi. And thank you so much for your time. And with this, we end this stream.